All right, what's up and welcome to the channel. My name is Hegshot. Thanks so much for joining me today as I'm going to try to answer an impossible question. One that I wouldn't even want asked of me, and that is, if I can only have one gun, what would that be? I'm going to dive into this. I'm going to deep dive into this and try to tell you why I would pick this one gun and ones that I wouldn't pick for reasons, a variety of reasons, really. If this is your first time stopping by, please make sure you subscribe, hit your notification bell, and if you want to support me, join me on Patreon, man. That is a great way to support what I do, early access, and by the way, the content here is going to start ramping up. The end of April 2022, I am finally going full-time right here, man. So I appreciate your support, big or small. If you like motorcycles, if you like music, if you like, well, everybody likes music. If you like my type of music, or gaming, whatever. I have two other channels that I have really put a ton of content on. I'd love to have you over there as well. I'll leave a link to all of that down below. Let's go ahead and get started. So I want to try to knock out some of the ones that are absolutely ones I would not choose for a single gun, because questions you have to ask yourself now are not just concealed carry, it's not just home defense, it's not just range, it's a little bit of everything. It's, if I only have this one gun, what is the situation? Is it a post-apocalyptic type of scenario? Is it, you know, the power grid went out? Is it, I just need this one gun because I can only afford one type of gun, but I want it to do a lot of different types of things? Whatever the case may be, the situation still is the same. You need something that you can possibly take game with. You need something that you can protect yourself with. You need something maybe for your vehicle, for your house, you know, self-defense, all of this kind of plays into it. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate one right here, which is very limited, really. If I only needed one gun, a pistol like this, it's just not going to cut it. Now, this is really great for personal protection, something that you can carry, home defense even, and something that you could keep in your car. So it does have a lot of great roles, but if I have to protect myself at distance, medium to long range, or if I have to take game at 200, 300, whatever yards, this is just not going to cut it, man. There's too many limitations here. Capacity is really good on something like this. This is a Performance Center Smith & Wesson, one of my favorite guns on the planet, really, dude. Awesome shooter, but again, it's just too limited in distance. Unless you're Jerry Michalak, let's be honest, you're not going to be, most of us are not going to be doing a whole lot with a pistol consistently at that distance anyways. If I only could have one gun, pistol would not be it. Since we're on the subject of pistols, what about pistol caliber carbines, or maybe even SBRs if you want to throw that in the slot? That could be a good option. You know, if you have like a 300 blackout SBR, something that can take game, something that is super quiet suppressed, that is up there. Now, pistol caliber carbines specifically, yes, they are concealable, they are light, they are easy to transport, home defense, self-defense, all of that is good, but the caliber itself is not great for taking game, taking large game. You would never want to try to shoot a deer with a 9mm. It's just unethical. Most of the time, you're not even going to kill the deer. It's just not great. And I'm just saying deer because I'm thinking about my area where I live. There's a lot of deer, a lot of squirrel, things like that. You could take a squirrel with this, but I would rather have a 22, honestly, for that task. So you could see how we could go down this rabbit hole depending on where you live. This may be a good option, I don't know, but for me, I would not take a pistol caliber carbine. Something like a 300 blackout SBR though, yeah, that would definitely be up there. Now here is one of my favorite guns that I own. This is a Kar 98K, and just replace any bolt action rifle with this one, whatever one of your choice. Something preferably probably with a scope, but either way, a bolt action rifle. Now this is really good for taking large game and for those really medium to long distances, 200, 300, 400, 500 yards. We've hit shots with this gun at, man, and it's really awesome. This one, like I said, specifically, probably not the best option, but a modern bolt action rifle would be good in that sense. If you need more than 5 rounds, which most likely, let's think about home protection or self-defense, A lot of the times, you may need more than those 5 rounds, you know, and I would rather have more than less in that circumstance. So a bolt-action rifle for personal protection, this is kind of unwieldy to try to, you know, get in and out of a vehicle, trying to get corners around in your home, whatever the case may be. This is not something that I want as a one-gun situation. Now, let's talk about a really great option. This has to be one of the better options, I think, and that's a shotgun. Now, this one specifically, this is a tactical style shotgun. This is the M&P12, awesome gun, great gun to shoot, a lot of fun, holds a lot of rounds. But any kind of pump action or even automatic style shotgun or semi-automatic shotgun is going to be a really good option for a lot of reasons. You can take game with it. You can take game at distance if you use slugs. You can protect your home. You can, you know, something like this can easily be, you know, stored in a vehicle. It can be stored beside your bed. This is a really versatile weapon, man, and something I haven't spent a ton of time with, but I can tell you I have started to really appreciate shotguns for what they are and all of the different uses. So this is going to be one of those top type of guns. Not my number 1 pick, but definitely probably my number 2 or 3 pick. Shotgun just has so many uses. Pretty much anybody can handle something like this. You know, if you want to take, let's say, birds in your area, well, you can do bird shot. If you want to take a buck, you could do double-aught buck or even a slug if you wanted to. The problem with this one is carrying shotgun shells can be kind of difficult. You have, you know, basically 3 or 4 different types. You have self-defense type of shotgun shells that you could use. So there's a lot out there, but carrying all those, if you had to carry them on your person, it's tough, man. So you're going to be limited there as far as capacity, and you're going to be limited as far as how much you can carry with that capacity. So that's why it wouldn't be my number 1 pick, but this is a great option for a number of reasons. Okay. Let's look at the Mac Daddy here, and this is the SCAR 17S. It is no secret I'm a huge fan of this gun, but this is really for AR-10 folks and 30 caliber guns, 7.62 by 39, 300 blackout. These types of rounds are really fantastic, man, and they give you a versatile self-defense option that you can trust your life with, and long range distance that you can trust your life with. So if I had to go with any of these, I stick by what I said. 300 blackout is great suppressed. You still get the hitting power of a 30 caliber round. That would be my number 1 choice in that market if I had a ton of 300 blackout. The problem is it's expensive, like a lot of 30 caliber ammo is, except for 7.62 by 39. An AK platform, it's plentiful in our country, and it's something I could get behind if I needed to. I think it's one of the best choices out there for personal protection, taking game, self-defense, whatever you want to throw out there. It's just a really good option. Specifically 308, you're limited in capacity a little bit compared to my number 1 option, which some of y'all probably have already guessed by now, but you're not that limited, you know, where you have a standard 30 round mag and an AR, you got 20 rounds here. It may be a little too much for some situations, and that's why it's not my number 1 choice. You know, if you needed to take a smaller game, right, with something like this, you might end up blowing the animal off the planet. So it just depends. Now, if you live out west and most of the animals you see are large, I mean, you think the deer down here in the south are like little dogs compared to where you live, well then 30 caliber or 308 or whatever might be a better option for you. Where I live, it wouldn't be the best option. The best option would be 5.56 AR platform, bullpup, whatever you want to stick here, but 5.56 rifle, AR-15 rifle, carbine length, or bullpup would be my pick. And for all of the reasons that I said the 308 might be a little too much, this one is great. You can take bigger game with it. It is limited in some capacity there, but for the most part, at least where I live, which again is a big part of this, the AR platform is fantastic, man. You get the capacity, the rounds are not super heavy, so you can carry a bunch of them. They're plentiful. The magazines, they're light, 30 rounds. Wherever you may live, that may look different to you, but in my state, it's 30 rounds or more if you want. You can add any kind of attachment that you want, just like you can on most of your 308 rifles and AR-10s and all that as well. You can get your distance, but also medium, even short range. If I needed to use this for home protection, I absolutely could. If I needed to store it in a vehicle, yep, can do that too. If I needed to take something at longer range or defend myself in medium to longer ranges, check that box as well. It has so much versatility. And this isn't even my favorite type of gun. ARs are not, you know, everybody has an AR-15 and they're awesome, you know, but it's not my favorite type of gun to shoot. I like something a little bit different, but regardless, it is the best rifle, at least in the United States, and the best caliber in 5.56, in my opinion. Let me show you one more here just to keep the fun going. Boom, the new Hellion rifle, right? It's a bullpup design. It's not for everybody, but personally, I like these a little bit better. Why? Because they're a little bit shorter. Remember that SBR I had mentioned earlier? This gives you SBR type length with the velocity of the standard carbine AR-15. 16-inch barrel, 16.5-inch barrel, you get all that. Your action is in the rear instead of in the front. So you keep that shorter overall length while still retaining the velocity that we just talked about. You can still take game with this gun. It's 5.56, a little bit different as far as the controls and working those controls, and you have to get used to that and blah, 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 blah. Anybody can do it if you put enough time. You can learn this gun and what it is. Let's say you don't like the Hellion, maybe the X95, which is one of my favorite guns, but 5.56 type of rifles, I think, if I only had to choose one gun, those would be it. Now, one thing I can see a lot of people saying with the AR platform is home defense, and this is where it falls a little bit short, and not because 5.56 is incapable or inferior, it's because it tends to go through things. Sometimes you don't want it to go through things. Like it may go through a would-be burglar, but then into an adjacent bedroom, through a wall, into a kid's room. So that can be kind of a problem. But again, the AR platform and its popularity, especially in the United States, it lends itself well to conversion kits. So let's say you want to shoot cheaply one day and you're like, I want to just go plinking. Well, 22 conversion kit. Or better yet, you want to take small game, 22 conversion kit. Let's say you want to make that AR platform, that same gun, into a better home defense option, 9mm conversion. Now, the X95 and your bullpups, I prefer those because of their overall shorter length. They're different, they're cool. I like them. I prefer them, side charging handle, whatever, especially on the X95. But the conversion kit for your X95, to change it to 9, it's kind of expensive. And because the AR is so more plentiful and popular in the United States, they obviously come at a cheaper price there, and there's more options from different manufacturers, okay? So it has a lot going for it. I mean, when I said this thing is versatile, it truly is the most versatile rifle. And a lot of rifles out there, you can't even change their calibers from one to the other without it being some big, expensive endeavor. So the AR just wins almost in every single category here. So you've seen the guns that I would choose and ones that I wouldn't choose. If I could only have one gun, that's what they would be. Let me know what your list would look like down below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.